Welcome everyone, Costin here with the test of various range units against medium infantry in Total War Pharaoh Dynasties. Because you do hear a bunch of ridiculous stuff with regards to range units. It's like, they're too strong, they do too much damage, they will obliterate units that are coming for them. Well, not quite. So if we move these Kushite Royal Guard, and if we look at their armor, they are 60 armor. Now, those are Trojan princes. They are genuinely the best, the very, very best archers in the game. These are not the best infantry in the game. And let's see how much damage they can take over here from these guys. Well, Paris, with his Trojan princes, the unique units of Troy, will they be able to overcome these Kopeshi Royal Guard, the Kushite Royal Guard? Or will they run out of ammo and get obliterated? Well, you know how this is going to go down, really, from a battle standpoint. I'm actually going to move Amon Mes closer. But you can really see over there that, while Paris may have some ammunition left, because he's not in range, the other guys, yeah, they've run out of ammo. And now we can just go in and kill them. All of them. Because even though we've taken a lot of damage... And keep in mind, this is as ideal of a scenario as it can get for archers. Just the idea that they're going to fire for a long time without any kind of opposition is as ideal as it's gonna freaking get in that kind of scenario over there. So let's see. Come on, Paris, get back here. Well, let them chase him there. Who will win? But keep in mind, these Trojan princes are actually quite decent enough in melee, but obviously they're not going to stand. So so I let them use all their ammunition. I didn't charge them. I didn't attack them. And they might still lose anyway. In fact, they are going to lose, or very, very close to losing over here. Yeah, it does seem like it probably will happen. And even if a lot of my guys are going to rout. And Paris certainly is not going to be able to win that melee fight over there against Amon Mes. Now sure, if you're doing something like this where you literally leave all your melee units to just constantly get whacked, it's going to happen like this against some of the very best archers in the game, statistically speaking. So that is an example over here. We lost more men. We did bring more men. We lost more men. Fair enough. They got even some experience out of this entire situation. But we did win. So that is an idea with regards to range units. Again, some of the best archers in the game. Normal battle difficulty, so nothing particularly special in terms of AI statistics. Let's switch it up a notch over here and go for some of the best slingers in the game over here. And clear this army out. Okay, and we're gonna select a general right here. Yeah, clear this army out right now. See if we can get potentially a sling. No, we can't. So we're just going to put him with a bow right here. And we're going to give him the Babylonian experts. Same units, same situation. Jeez, this situation is even more lopsided in terms of like the battle balance over here. Because these guys are really good. Like, they're more heavily armored than my guys are. They do a good amount of armor piercing. Let's see how this plays out. Let's go into the battle and see how it actually does play out over here against these guys. So, moving Amon Mes to the back. The reason I'm moving him to the back is, well, you do want to protect your general in battles, but there is a bit of a weird AI behavior over here with regards to like their targeting. They may stop actually shooting on me if I just move in shield wall. Slingers do not have nowhere near the damage capability of these guys. So putting them, just moving them in front of the enemy, looking at those slings, trying to do damage. they're not going to do a lot of damage. In fact, they'll do significantly less damage than the actual archers did before. That's expected. They will do some damage. Keep in mind, literally best slingers in the game, Babylonian specialists. They're spending a lot of ammunition over there. But they're gonna, once they run out, they might take me down to half HP, but I will win the melee fight once that does happen. And again, like, this is not how you fight a battle. You would not want this situation to happen. But as you can see, like, the archers are out of ammo. Slingers will soon follow. And there it is. They're out of ammo. You know how this is going to play out. You know what's going to happen over here. Right, let me just get Amon Mes into the fray. Right there before we advance, like, just advance on a proper line. Obviously, you'd want to rush them or keep them occupied with your own slingers, even if they don't win. So that is happening there. And it is going to be another victory. These guys are pretty decent melee, so who knows how this is actually going to play out. It may be tricky to figure out, but yeah. So this idea, like, some people really are repeating this idea. It's like, oh, my heavy melee units are getting devastated by range units. I don't know what melee units you guys are using, but, like, that's it. Their morale broke. They couldn't win in melee. The balance of power shifted my way, and I lost significantly less men. Let's move on to skirmishers. Now, which faction would have the best skirmisher? Probably Agamemnon, if I were to make an educated guess. I could be wrong on this particular aspect, but let's take a look about all of this. So, let's see. We get veteran land skirmishers. Those are tier 4. Is there anything better? Well, we do have the guerrilla stalkers over there. So how much damage are they doing? 64. I think you're not really going to get better than that. Like, these are elite units. Let's take a look at Palisade, for instance. 56. Like, it has to be either a unique unit. Try and consider Bay over there. Canaanite Ambushers 42. Not going to be as good. It's not going to be Babylon. It's not going to be Tosred. Sheridan, maybe? Nope. So it's not the Sheridan. Hati? Nope. They don't have them. So I think I am going to go for the Mycenaean guerrilla stalker. So just clear out this entire army. Put 4 of these. Obviously, cost is a factor over here in terms of, like, how good these guys are. Put the range in it. See how it plays out. Maybe just put melee unit in it just for the sake of fairness over here. It doesn't matter which general I choose. Obviously, I am choosing a guy who can actually use a bow because, you know, range test. So these guys, 64 damage, 50% range lethality. Let's see how all of this plays out against the Mycenaean army. They might do the most damage in terms of burst, but they also will run out of damage very quickly. Out of ammo very, very quickly. So let's speed it up. Over there. Keep Amon Mes behind. And time for the pain train. Here I come. Oh, yeah, about that. Well, they're trying to do damage. So all that great, so-called great range lethality that skirmishers do have, yeah, it means shit. Like, once I stop seeing these guys, like, these guys are in stealth, so obviously these guys would actually win over here. So yeah, so much for that notion. They're all out of ammo. They're gonna get obliterated in melee right now. So you've seen me go up against some of the best archers. You've seen me go up against some of the best Now, it's not to say archers aren't useful. Obviously, they are useful in a certain context, to be clear. But, or range units, they're obviously useful, but you do need, you can't just win with pure range units. You do need melee to bring into the fray in order to win that particular battle, because otherwise this is going to happen again and again and again and again in your particular battle situation. Without good melee, like, I would say good melee is far more important than good chariots, good cavalry, good archers, more so than anything else. Obviously you can win with all kinds of army compositions, like if you have a good spear formation like Amon Mes can get, combined with really good archers, which he can also get, then yes. I could play this test as well against the AI, but you know what the AI is gonna freaking do in this situation? Like, the reason I played the melee one myself, the AI would just rush me and win. Far easier. Like, sure, I could kite around and do all that kind of stuff, but they would win. Now for a final test, let's take some of the heaviest infantry in the game, the veteran Hittite spearmen of Shupaliuma against Trojan nobles. It is a bit imbalanced in terms of like cost, so let's even give them extra recruit rank. Let's go all the way actually in terms of recruit rank, make these guys highest possible tier than you might talk. Now, one of the things that is of course important is shielded. So you got the silver shield, basically 75% missile block chance over here. Units with lower block chance might not do quite as well, but there's a bunch of units that can have a really good amount of missile block chance, even at tier 3. So it's not just like, oh, the most expensive units have that. No, it's a whole bunch of units. It depends on what you're talking about. Like, you know, I could just go with Anatolian armored swordsmen over here who are also heavily armored. But yeah, 95 armor. It's not really the armor that's the most important, however. It is that missile block chance. Like, armor can be penetrated, especially by like these kind of elite units. So let's start this battle, see how it goes. Well, I already know how it's gonna go. It's not gonna go very well for Paris. But this time around, I'll actually try and make things a bit more fair for Paris and just move my guys a bit closer so he can actually shoot. Obviously, like, as I've said, this is as much of an advantage as I can give him without, like, you know, engaging directly in combat over there. So we do have the spear wall formation, so missile parry with shield. Keep in mind that that does make them immobile, but let's just activate that. For all these guys, they will take damage against those kind of elite units. And it's their armor is not necessarily going to count for as much. And the AI just has kind of stopped shooting. Well, okay, so let's just literally leave the stance. Weirdly enough, they did stop shooting over there. But let's just leave that particular stance, see how they're doing. They've taken down one unit. Let them take down one unit. And that's their ammo. That is it. They're done. Like, effectively, they've got nothing else over here that they can do in this situation. Paris has a couple more shots. But still, that is effectively it. I guess if you do have one of these units, AI isn't completely stupid, but still, like, GG, well played, more or less. So Shupaliuma is going to come in, and we'll see who ends up winning. After literally getting hit in every possible direction, who's going to win the melee fight after a lot of my units did get heavily damaged there. Well, the balance of power is certainly in my favor at this particular point, and so I expect a victory. But we will see. Might actually go his way. There's a lesson over here, though. Just because you can get the most expensive, like the most expensive infantry units, they're not there to win against range units. They're there to achieve other purpose. Like these spearmen, for instance, they're not here to withstand so much range power. Like, there's more cost-effective ways of doing so in the game. the reason these guys exist is to deal with chariots, with cavalry, that kind of stuff, right? So it's just not really a case of, oh, like the most expensive units win out. That, by the way, is a complaint about Warhammer 3. So one of these units is routing, but there it goes. One. So against very high ranking units, which by the way give them a bunch of advantages in terms of the battle, we still manage a win over here. Would not have worked that quite as well with the Axemen, but all the same. Not quite sure what, let's see. So if we consider the difference over here, it's that tooltip though. It doesn't affect their range damage. It does, however, affect their morale, melee attack. But yeah, it's just affecting morale, melee attack by the looks of it. By the stance of it. And also melee defense. So that's the reason they did better in melee. That should give you a clear idea of how range units actually perform, as opposed to what you might have seen in other vids. Like, there was no trickery over here. Literally showed you what units I was using, what settings I was using, what ranks I was using, all that. This is how range units actually perform. So whenever you hear someone saying like range units are overpowered in this game, show them this video, because this is how they actually perform. And you would not play like this. I emphasize it. You would not. You would charge directly in that. You might take more damage during the charge, absolutely, but your units would make it. Because if it takes them expending all of their ammunition without using the parry formation over here, for them to rout one unit and then still lose, you're going to make it long before that. It might try and kite you, but it's not going to work so well for them. Costin, signing.